I have completely neglected my candle sales, and it's time to fix all of that. Hello everyone, I'm Jeff Standley with Standley Handcrafted, and today I wanted to talk about a topic that I've been dealing with a lot over probably the last couple years, and it's a topic that comes up quite a bit in the candle groups, which is why I wanted to address it, especially in my own situation. And that is basically starting a candle business and kind of moving away from it, getting into other categories, focusing on other things, which ultimately led to basically a loss of candle sales, which was my own fault. Now, of course, there is a huge reason why I started to kind of get away from the candle sales that I had been doing, and that's because I opened up a supply company, which of course ended up taking a lot more time away from basically everything, not only candles. And I knew at some point I would come back to the candles. I wasn't really too concerned with it, although I did kind of think that the candles would kind of be self-sustaining a little bit, but over the years, or over the last 2 years, definitely over the last year, with the main focus being on getting into the store, getting into the warehouse, getting the supplies, and then of course how much work was actually involved with sending hundreds and up to thousands of orders. It definitely pulled a lot more from the candle business than I really thought it would. So much so, in fact, that it basically went to nothing. I was selling no candles per day, per week, per month. And that was just because the warehouse was getting so busy, supplies going out were getting so busy that I just didn't have time on the weekends to make my own candles. Now, I did go back through and I talked to a few people in the group and some friends, other candle makers on this one. I thought about getting some candles made wholesale just so that I could have them on my website. But for me personally, I like to make my own candles. Now, when we had the store, I did have some candles from local makers that we brought in. I didn't have anything wholesale made, but I did have some candles from local makers that I wanted to highlight in kind of a section in our store. So I never went the full wholesale route or private label, white label, anything like that, which is definitely something that I still want to do in kind of down the road, just to bring in some other jars, other waxes, other scents, stuff that I don't typically do. But for now, and for me personally, the goal is to basically get back into candle making, which I have done over the last month or two, which is good for me because I think that it basically brings back a lot of the creativity, which is what I love the most about candle making. It's coming up with something new. It's testing new waxes, new wicks, new oils, everything like that. And I was kind of disappointed with myself that I got away from that so much. But again, I didn't beat myself up too much over this one just because I knew that my focus was going towards something that was just as good in trying to grow the warehouse. And one of the reasons that I'm trying to get back into the candle business is with everything, basically hoping to get everything kind of leveled out into a pace that I can manage with the store and the supplies going out. I can actually do some candles on the weekend. And honestly, I'd like to get back into doing some of the markets that are around here, although we're getting into wintertime now, so there's really not a ton that goes on. But it is peak candle season, and I definitely want to take advantage of that as well. So to kind of go along with that one, I've been kind of ramping up some of the social media posts. I've been doing a lot more on TikTok, been doing a little bit more on Instagram, kind of going back to that one, and basically just kind of forcing myself to get back into the habit of making candles on the weekend, even if it's 10, 20, a small amount, basically just getting some stuff done so that I can get them back on the website and start promoting the candles that I used to sell a long time ago. Now, of course, over the last couple of years, I hadn't completely stopped candle making. I stopped putting a lot of them on the website, but I did make a lot for myself, family members, coworkers, and stuff like that. So I was continually doing candles through that whole time. I just wasn't making enough to actually put them on the website. And then, of course, along with those candles that I was making, I was still doing testing on the side, still getting new vessels in, trying to see what works as far as wax, wicks, oils, anything like that. So there was candle making going on. It just wasn't going to the website, which is what I'm now correcting. And again, like I said, I'm very excited on this one. I've got a lot of ideas with some new vessels that I've got, some new products that I want to put out, and some new, not really candle ideas, but some more branding ideas that I kind of want to test out and see how they'll do in the market. So definitely stay tuned for that one. Once I go through and actually create some of those, I've got a special one that I'm working on right now, and I'm going to do a full video on that one, and I'll show kind of the thought process going into that one, and we'll see how it turns out. I don't know exactly how well it's going to turn out, but once I get it up and going, I'll put it on the channel and show you guys what I came up with. But that's pretty much it with this one, more of a channel or a candle update, and we'll see you guys in the next video.